What's up, YouTube? It's Jason back here with Isandro and Jordan. Y'all know the vibes. What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, tonight.
Feeling good.
There's the
The
picture.
camera. You see my camera.
That's right.
You see my camera.
That's right.
Sums it
you-
up, right?
Game time. Game time.
That's right.
He's got his game face on. He's
So,
ready.
last video, it was the GOAT debate. It was a little over a week ago. We're sorry about the quality of the video. We're still new at this, but we'll get better. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think the content of the video itself kind of lends to the quality because you got six people. A lot of them were LeBron supporters, but you got six people
Screaming at each
debating
other.
back and forth. And you would go from one topic to the other. Everybody trying to
Yeah.
get their points in, and not everybody was able to get their points in.
We need a Molly
It can get a
Karam.
little messy with that formula. So
We need a Molly Karam or somebody.
just
Like a little-
something.
Somebody who could
Somebody to
guide us.
split the mess between Stephen A.
We even
Smith
talk
and
about
Max
the
Kellerman.
important
Whoever those are.
That's right. But it's all good though. It was still a fun topic, and it'll always be a fun topic because in the end we'll never know who truly is the best.
Yeah,
But,
we all still have our opinions, and we'll definitely continue the debate, albeit with a slightly different formula, but it'll still be us, the Dunces, doing the debate.
Right.
So
That's
stay
right.
tuned for that.
So today we want to talk about a few topics. Not a lot. We don't want to get into it too deep, but just on the latest NBA news. So one of the most recent is coaches. We got a new hiring in New Orleans. How do y'all feel about Stan Van Gundy as the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans? I'm gonna start off with Isandro on this one. How you feel about this, man?
It's the jury's still out for me. I don't think he did too well last time, his last coaching job, but as we saw with Frank Vogel, he got dumped from Orlando. He comes back. Obviously, he has LeBron James on his team, Anthony Davis, but he was still able to lead them past a very spirited Miami Heat team. So previous coaching jobs don't really have too much of a weight. They have that weight, but not too much, in my opinion, as to how they're going to perform moving forward, at least in my opinion. So what do you guys think?
Yeah. What do you think, Jordan?
Well, I feel like it was they hired him to hold the young players accountable. And I mean, hopefully he's better coach now because like coaches change, like his play style. But like it's different because Mike Malone for the Nuggets, that style is perfect because he holds them accountable. But then it pays out because I mean we saw how Michael Porter played this playoffs. So.
Yeah.
So hopefully for the Pelicans, it brings out the best in the young players, especially like Zion.
Yeah.
When you say changed, real quick, when you say changed, do you mean like a drastic difference in coaching style, or changes in he's kind of learned from his mistakes and he's kind of improving and tweaking stuff like that? Like, what do you mean?
I mean both, because you can't always, depending on the team, you always have to change and adapt to the style of play. But I think it's good for the young players because now they'll learn from him, and for sure he's gonna hold them accountable, and he's gonna put them in their place, which is good though. Which is good. You need the young players. You don't want them doing whatever they want. So
Yeah.
it's important.
I think Stan Van Gundy I think he would be a great coach for any good team. A young team, I don't know. It's tough for me because Stan Van Gundy hasn't coached a great player. I say Zion is great now, even though he's still raw. Like the last time he had somebody like that was Dwight Howard, right? But Dwight Howard was like getting like he was amazing back then, right? Like if it wasn't for Stan and Dwight, like that team wouldn't have gone to the finals and lost against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. So Stan Van Gundy has that respect. Now, is he the best fit in New Orleans? Probably. Like Kendrick Perkins was saying this, and Kendrick Perkins does a lot of stupid things, but in this one he was kind of right because he was saying like a coach like Mark Jackson, right? Somebody who like develops players more so than like yells at them and tells them X's and O's. Like Mark Jackson is somebody who has been there, right, in the NBA. He probably could have helped out a player like Lonzo Ball, right? Because Lonzo Ball is somebody that needs that confidence. So maybe a coach like him would have been good, but you never know. I mean, Stan Van Gundy, he's a little older now. He's learned from mistakes. In his Detroit days, he wasn't just a coach. He was also the president of basketball operations. So a lot of the deals and stuff was through him. Like, so he kind of messed that team up, to be honest. But now, right now, he's just working as a coach. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes there in New Orleans. Do y'all think though with Stan Van Gundy, does that mean not championship, playoff for the New Orleans Pelicans?
Well, it definitely depends on the development of the players. Those players develop, like we saw Brandon Ingram go off MIP. Those players just get a little better, or stay consistent with this new coach coming in. They can definitely hit the playoffs. I'm not entirely 100% sure, but I think a big problem of theirs was their defending, right? How
Yeah.
bad they were on the defensive end.
Yeah.
So that definitely needs to be sorted out. If that doesn't get sorted out, then we're in the same spot. You can get a new coach, whatever you want, do all these different things, but you don't fix the problems that you got already, the defense, let's say, that you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. What about you, Jordan? What do you think?
You gonna hear it first from me? Zion Williamson, Lonzo Ball is the next Magic Kareem under Van Gundy. You will see.
Is that technically a hot take, or is that just like what you think is fact?
No, this is facts.
That might be a hot take, bro.
No, we're gonna see Lob City. Lob City's back. New Orleans.
You heard it here first, then.
I don't think Magic Johnson and Kareem is the best comparison. I'd say the Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin probably, like a better version of Kenyon Martin. But I could see something like that. Like again, Stan Van Gundy, he's a good coach. He's a great coach. For this team, I don't know. You guys made some great points though. I could see it. Magic and Kareem, I don't think so. But I'm gonna keep that.
In 10 years, you're gonna be doubting it. You're gonna be
getting Yeah, man. So that was just one hiring. Very important though, because it is the Western Conference, and the Western Conference, as we all know, is stacked. Yeah. So this could be a very big game changer in playoff seeding next year. So that's pretty exciting.
What do you think? I heard the Rockets might be going for Jeff Van Gundy, right? Or unless he's already there.
Yeah. So
what do you guys think of that?
So Jeff Van Gundy, actually, he coached the Rockets back in the day with T-Mac, right, and Yao Ming. Obviously, this is a different team, different style. If Jeff Van Gundy goes there, just expect trades and expect completely different offense. Will that work? Probably not. I don't think it will.
They gotta.
Well, you personally, you're a serious doubter of this Rockets team, so I'm thinking.
Yeah. So I guess I also have that bias.
Elevate them or no?
You see, Mike D'Antoni out of there is finally the best decision the Rockets have made, other than trading for Russell Westbrook, because they had one of the most athletic point guards in NBA, and they did nothing with him. They did nothing. They did probably like couple backdoor screens, which they should have done more because it's Russell Westbrook. And every time they did it, it was successful. But whatever. Hopefully, whichever coach they choose, it's a different style because this style clearly hasn't done anything for James Harden.
Yeah, it sucks though too because I mean Russell Westbrook he's always gonna be that like what if type player. Like what if he can learn how to shoot, or like what if he changed his game just a little bit to like better his team. And I know that Jordan has this love for Russell Westbrook, so that's why like. It's more so of like also kind of tight bias, but at the same time, it's like I think their best option is to look to trade him and just build like get solid good players around Harden, because like I think the Russell Westbrook's game, and now that he's getting older too, like I love the way he plays. His intensity is amazing, and he's one of my favorite players to watch. But there's no way that his play style is going to win a championship. Now, can a coach change that in Houston? Probably, but
Russell's play style?
Yeah, Russell's.
Well, I mean, the Russell Westbrook and James Harden were the second best duo in scoring, behind LeBron AD, second best, and that was like by like 2 or 3 points. I got to double check, but to be second behind LeBron AD, which is AD a dominant scorer in the paint for 2 guards to do that. But so I mean, it just showed you that the play style did work. They just didn't win. I mean, Russell, people can say whatever they want to play us. He was injured, blah blah blah. I don't really care. They weren't gonna beat the Lakers anyways.
That is.
But a healthy Russ with James Harden, the way they played during the season, it was great because again, he wasn't taking the shots that he did the year before. His
Yeah.
OKC bricks 3-pointer. I mean, after surgery in the ligaments in his hand, that's it. Everything just went downhill for him for shooting. But I mean, the play style worked, but can they get the pieces? They definitely need a big man now, 100%.
So that's
They
what I
need-
was going to ask. What else do you think is missing? The big man. What else do you think is missing from this Rockets team besides just
They
players?
need a miracle because they're pretty much just restarting with 2 stars.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what it is now. So
it's such a weird situation too, because it's like you can't trade Harden, right? Like he's just too good. Like there's no way you're gonna trade a generational talent. Russell maybe, but like
and it's confirmed that Russell's not being traded. They're gonna stay together.
yeah. So it's and look, and
Who are you
obviously
gonna trade?
this series, right? This year with Russell Westbrook as an example, right? He had COVID, so he had COVID, and then coming back, obviously he wasn't gonna be the same. A lot of players just weren't the same. So we can't blame it all on Russell Westbrook. I'm just personally saying that his play style just it won't. I don't think can win a championship unless a coach is there to tell him, all right, dude, like I'm the coach now. You're gonna listen to me. Like he needs somebody he respects. Who is that coach? I don't know. Maybe Stan Van Gundy probably would have been a good coach there in Houston, but like we mentioned before, right? He's in New Orleans. But yeah, Houston definitely needs a few more pieces. I think they should go after Kevin Love. They should really pursue Kevin Love. And if not, just solid.
Blake Griffin.
You think? Probably.
Weird.
That could work.
That's weird.
I mean, he's injury prone too, though. Like that's
that's
another
the
thing
problem.
too. Like you're looking at Russell Westbrook, and if you trade for Blake Griffin, that's injury riddled seasons right there. But no, I think their best case scenario would be like try to go after Kevin Love, and then maybe try to get Hassan Whiteside on like the minimum, or your mid-level exception. Just players that you could pluck in that'll elevate Harden and Russ, especially Russell's like deficiencies, and defensively like that. Even though they've been a great defensive team so far, I mean, there's still just so much work that needs to be done with that squad. But we'll see, and it all depends too. Who's going to be the general manager, and what's his focus? Like, what does he want? The Rockets have a lot of questions to answer this offseason, but I think that out of all the teams in the league that are going through something like this, they're the best case scenario because you have Harden and Westbrook, generational talents. So we'll see what happens there.
But Jordan, you mentioned rebuilding. You think they would benefit from a rebuild, or not?
I mean, I don't know if he would 100% because
Not like 100% rebuild.
It might feel like it because look how long James Harden has played in the system that he's been playing. With just ISO. Maybe he'll drive in, kick it out to the shooter. That's pretty much what they do. So now, will the new coach they implement a new game style? Because then that's difficult. Because now you're pretty much just trying new things now, seeing what's gonna fit for the offense, right? And we've seen how efficient they were when they let Russ kick it out to the shooters. Let James Harden do what he does. Obviously, let him play his game. Like I said, backdoor screens involve Russ more in off-ball screens, cutting more. If they can get a solid big man, and implement that to their game, I mean, maybe, you do need some type of big man. I mean, nowadays, the game has changed, so you never know what coaches are gonna want to do. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's see.
It all depends. It all depends on who is their next hire, and it's so crazy too, right? Like everybody knew like D'Antoni was kind of gone, but I don't think anybody expected that Daryl Morey was gonna just leave too. So, but the Rockets are in a tough situation, but you never know. You never know with the NBA. The NBA is that's why I love it so much. There's so much that can go on, right? So that's two teams we got out of the way, with coaching stuff. Now another team that we actually haven't spoken of, but they recently hired a new head coach. Is he new? I don't know. He was on their bench all last season. Tye Lue is the new head coach of the LA Clippers. Last time he was an NBA head coach for 4 years in Cleveland with LeBron when they won the championship in 2016. And now This most recently, he was an assistant coach under Doc Rivers' staff. So, guys, how do y'all feel about Tyronn Lue as the new head coach of the LA Clippers?
Jordan, what do you think? I'll let you start.
No comment. This is a disgrace to basketball.
Oh, he doesn't like it.
Kawhi Leonard is not LeBron. You know, LeBron elevated Tyronn Lue. He made Tyronn Lue.
So all the credit you're giving to Tye
Kawhi,
Lue is purely LeBron. Is
Yep.
that what you're saying?
what?
Yep.
What happened?
All the credit you're giving Tye Lue is just purely LeBron. Like Tye
Yes.
Lue, the majority of what he did was only because of LeBron.
Just
That's what you
being
feel?
maybe a player's coach. You know, help maybe a player develop. But even then, I think he's pretty bad at that. Maybe the Clippers need a janitor position. I did see a couple open up. Maybe that'll do him some good. But I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. Tyronn Lue. I mean, shoot, might as well make Kevin the coach. And if you guys don't know who Kevin is, just check out the first video and the second video.
He wasn't even there for a lot of it, right? Maybe that's what you're trying to say. You think they would like digress, however you want to say it, like go down in quality if now that Tye Lue's the coach? You think that's what's going to happen, Jordan and Jayson?
Tye Lue, it depends on the players for sure. Tye Lue's not a coach that he can change. Like he's not a game changing coach like Pop. I don't feel like he's a game changer. Like Pop, his coaching, the way he coaches, will change the game because he doesn't need like these fancy all these big time players because he'll get his wins by his coaching. Tye Lue, I mean, he just needs the players. Depending on which players he has, and let's see if Paul George stays. Depending on whether he stays or not, I don't know. I don't think they'll probably be the same.
I agree with Jordan in everything he just said. Basically, like, I think Tyronn Lue is one of the most overrated coaches in the NBA. However, though, I do feel bad for him in this regard. When LeBron left, right, and they just basically had Kevin Love, they didn't give him that chance to like, all right, go ahead and do what you got to do as a coach. You don't have LeBron now. Prove yourself. Cleveland didn't let him do that. He got let go. He found a job as an assistant, right? I think Tyronn Lue's best position would be as a great assistant coach because that's what he's been so far throughout his career. He was great in Boston, helping out Doc Rivers and that staff win that 08 championship, right? And and he was good in Cleveland too as an assistant. But like Jordan said, LeBron, he made Tyronn Lue who Tyronn Lue is. Now I'm not saying Tyronn Lue isn't smart because he has a lot of guys who backed him up and saying like he's a really good X's and O's coach and he loves to study the game, which is great. But as a head coach, you need a voice. And who knows if that team is going to respect him. Because we saw it last season. If they couldn't even respect Doc, then I don't know how they're going to respect Tye Lue. The good thing is, though, they got Chauncey Billups as their assistant coach, top assistant, his first coaching gig. So that's a pretty good signing. But there's another thing, right? It's like, okay, all right, he's Chauncey Billups. We all have respect for him, but I mean, what is that going to do for us as a team? Like, who's going to be the leader of that group? Because Kawhi Leonard isn't that leader, so it has to go to the coach. Is Tyronn Lue that guy? I don't think so. I think a good head coach or a great head coach that would have been perfect for that position is probably the only one who could probably do is Pop, but that was never going to happen. So I think Clippers were just like in a no man's land. Like, there's a lot of good coaches in the NBA.
Jason Kidd
probably would have been solid. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I think the Clippers just need personnel. If they get a player like Rondo, that okay, he won't show up in the season, throughout the season. Like, he'll show up in moments, but when you need him to hold players accountable, Rondo's that guy. But in the end, we're not talking about a coach. We're talking about a player. So again, is Tyronn Lue the best coach for that team? I don't think so. Obviously, we know Jordan doesn't think so. Isandro, what do you think, bro?
See, when you guys were saying about LeBron made him throughout those finals and just watching them, that Cleveland Cavaliers team play, I was consistently getting those vibes that, maybe LeBron is the reason why this team is doing so good. maybe it's not really the coach. But I was also getting this feeling that maybe I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, because it feels like we're setting him up for failure. You know, not too much of a benefit of the doubt, but we should still kind of give him some some breathing room, because we haven't even seen him be head coach of this Clippers team. These are kind of way too early predictions. These are educated predictions, but we still kind of need to give him that breathing room, like I said, personally.
Yeah, and there's so many questions also that the Clippers have to answer, right? I kind of alluded to it, like, free agency with Rondo. What are they going to do with Montrezl Harrell? And it's not just him. They also have to re-sign Marcus Morris if they want him back, who, played solid for them. Wasn't the best, but played solid. What are they going to do with Reggie Jackson? Will there be trades? What is up with Paul George? So many questions that need to be asked, and you're giving all of this to a guy who won a championship because of LeBron and Kyrie Irving. So, I mean, can he do something for that team? Probably, but I don't know. The Clippers really disappointed me this year, which is why I I kind of have a little bit more hate towards them than I did before. Shout out Lakers, Caruso.
Also getting traded though.
I think so too. So those were the three kind of like biggest things I wanted to talk about.
I still kind of want to talk about this Clippers team though, because you had mentioned before they were in no man's land, and that kind of interested me, because I got the same vibe, because they didn't even make it to the Western Conference Finals, even though people were tipping them to potentially make it to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So was it Doc's fault, or do you guys think that there's something missing that isn't the coach that they need to do? Because they have Kawhi Leonard, they have Paul George, and they still couldn't even get past this Nuggets team. All credit to the Nuggets, no doubt, but they couldn't get past this Nuggets team when they were 3-1 up.
I mean, even at the meeting, the Clippers, everybody knew the Clippers didn't want to be there. And then even people said LeBron didn't want to be there, but look, he won the chip. That just shows you how great he is, but we're not talking about that. So when you're going against teams like the Nuggets, right, who are fighting for their life just to make it to the conference championship, right? You're bound to lose that game, especially in Game 7. You saw the face in Kawhi Leonard. He was like, "Man, what am I doing? I just want to go home already." Nobody wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And like you just see their body language, the whole body language from that game. Second half, it was just a disgrace. And I mean, when you good, Isandro?
What's up?
Looked like he was
No. I'm taking it all in. I'm taking it all in. Continue.
I feel you meditating. You're meditating on my words. I like it.
His wisdom.
But yeah, when you don't want to be there, just like when you don't want to be in any place, your body language is gonna show. And the way they played, it was just horrible.
Yeah. Like I said, that team has no leaders. Kawhi Leonard is too quiet. Like in the games, because people say, oh, he talks a lot, and that's great, but what you need is a vocal leader on the court. Kawhi isn't that guy. Paul George, for some reason, something is off with him, man. Like he'll never be that Paul George, and it's not because of that leg injury, because after leg injury he actually became better, but in the playoffs he's trash.
Was it just the bubble, do you think, or is that just Paul George now, who he is?
It's been Paul George the past 2 seasons. Like, you could talk to Jordan about this exclusively because he was a Thunder fan. So he saw Paul George lose to a rookie and then lose to Damian Lillard and the bye-bye little thing, right? So Paul George hasn't been the same for a while. He plays so passive, and it's so stupid to watch. I hate it. Him, and then Patrick Beverley just running around like talking all this stuff. Like, he's so annoying. Like, and he's not a leader either, right? Like,
you know they were gonna lose because Patrick Beverley was their leader.
Yeah,
that's their vocal leader.
He was just the most vocal. He wasn't their leader though.
And then Lou Will, like we all expected him to do better, but he was trash. Like that playoff run against the Nuggets, he was terrible. Like, one of the worst players in the bubble there at that time. And you don't expect that, right? But it's because, like Jordan alluded, right, it was their body language. Like, if your two quote-unquote leaders in Kawhi and Paul George aren't, like, showing off or showing up, obviously the rest of the team is going to be down. And Lou Will was just they're like, I mean, who do these guys think they are, right? Like they come into our team like. But that again, it always goes back to the coach. Did Doc Rivers handle that situation in the right way? No. He let these guys do whatever they wanted, and it really screwed them up. But we'll see how that team goes. What are they going to prioritize in free agency? How Tye Lue is going to try to make Paul George and Kawhi Leonard play better together. Because the one thing that he does have an advantage over any other coach that could have coached that team was that he saw what went wrong last season. So he could learn from those mistakes and do something better about it. Will he? Probably not. But that's because of my bias against Tye Lue. But yeah.
It's safe to say there's more questions than answers at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why the NBA is so great, right? Because you'll always have so many questions and you'll probably never even know the answers. Because the answers are always end up like, all right, are they winning the championship or are they getting the number one pick? Like that's the what everybody wants to know, right? So I think that on that note, we can end this topic tonight on the coaches, general managers, and just what's going on around the league. It's been great talking to you guys. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, especially the Tye Lue thing, because I didn't really expect Jordan to go off like that. But I respected it because I thought the same thing. So shout out.
He's passionate.
That's right. And so we got New Orleans, hands down with Stan Van Gundy. We're happy for them. Happy for Stan. We'll see what happens with them. The Rockets, we don't know what's going to happen with them. They have no coach. They have no general manager. The Rockets are just the Rockets. And the Clippers, Tye Lue. What are they going to do in free agency? Who knows? But this was the Dunces Podcast, episode 4. Is this 4 or 5?
4.
4. 4. Right.
4.
I think it's 5 though, because I was thinking it's 5 because me and Isandro talk basketball all the time. But
it's like every conversation we have is a podcast. I'm just like, why aren't we recording this again?
But yeah, so this is episode 4 of the Dunces with Jordan, Isandro, myself, Jayson. And we're gonna let you all go. Thank you guys. Please like, subscribe, share. And how is it that Jordan ended it the other day? Like, subscribe, like.
And hit the like button.
Hit the like button. And don't forget to like the like button.
Yeah, that's right.
Something like that.
And comment too, because comment. That's what YouTubers ask for. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Check us out next week for it. Will LeBron win the championship next year? Stay tuned for episode 5.
Oh my goodness.
But okay. Right. We appreciate
you. You're going to be on this podcast here time soon.
We appreciate you guys for joining us today. This is the Dunces episode 4. We'll see you guys next week.